House and since the Bengals and the Ravens got together at the end of the season. I spend plenty of time there, so does this young lady. She covers all things Xavier, not ex-Xavier, the way we've been pronouncing it around here, for WCPO. She was at the Cincinnati Enquirer for a period of time as well, her 9th year on Musketeer Beat. She is Shannon Russell. You can follow her journey out on Twitter at SL Russell. You go back to when my boy Bino Ransom was there, right?
I sure do. Yeah, those were the days.
Those were the days. So I got a Bino story for you. I'd love to share this because I can't brag about much. I mean, the only accomplishments I really have in sports other than 25 years of doing sports radio is that I once beat Danny Wiseman bowling. He's a Hall of Fame bowler, and I beat him. So that's my claim to fame. The other one is I coached Bino Ransom when he was 10 years old. The only team I ever coached in my life, I had 8 kids, and Bino was one of them. And I'll never forget when he got the job at Xavier. He called me, and I was so proud of him. And now look at him at Maryland trying to beat the Musketeers, right?
Exactly.
Well, for you in covering the team, obviously the story is injury this year and really a shaky February run into this tournament.
Absolutely. The tides changed for Xavier when Edmund Sumner, the starting point guard, went out with a torn ACL at the end of January, and that just changed the entire complexion of Xavier's season. And while they had some success right after Sumner went out, they won 4 games in a row. They just kind of dismantled everything in the ensuing 6 games and fell into the skid where they just couldn't find a way out of it. And then, during that time, Trayvon Blewett, who is the leading scorer, sprained his ankle and was out for 2 games. And they were just very discombobulated and playing with people in different positions and weren't used to it. And it all kind of amounted to just kind of a really a dark time for them and losing at a time when they're not accustomed to.
Yeah, and really kind of getting crunched, too. Going on the road to Marquette, Seton Hall, getting beaten up. It felt like the only wins they had toward the end was DePaul. But I would say this. If these teams would have met the first week of January, and I've said this all week, this would have been a hell of a game, and this would have been top 20 kind of bragging rights and thinking that they were going to move to the next level this year. Maryland sort of backed up at home and backed up when they lost the size of Tchaikovsky. And Xavier, I don't think there's any way to not back up. If Maryland lost Melo Trimble in early February, they wouldn't be much right now.
Right. Quentin Gooden is now the starting point guard, and he played an average of about 14 minutes to the first part of the season and was really just trying to find his way. And because Edmund Sumner suffered that ACL injury, Quentin got put in the spotlight and now is playing close to 40 minutes a game. So there were definitely growing pains with that, and you take out one of your best players out of the equation. Certainly, there's just a lot of change that happens from top to bottom. And Quentin Gooden has just kind of been a key for Xavier lately because he's calmed down a little bit. He's taken better shots, and his defense actually started out pretty decent, and his offense is kind of catching up to that as well as his ball handling.
Yeah, one of the things with Maryland is not handling bigs well. I don't think this is a bad matchup for them, but Maryland doesn't win a lot of rebounding battles. So, the concern about size and those matchups inside, Gaston and whatnot, that's to me, that's going to make or break the game, and really how Maryland shoots is going to make or break the game for them on Thursday night.
Yes, I completely agree. Xavier, it's one of their biggest things they do is rebounding. It's their mission in life, that and defense. And so a lot of times at practice, they'll put like a plastic kind of plug in the basket so that Coach Mack, when he shoots, it will automatically come off the side, and they battle for the loose balls. And so, Rashid Gaston is he takes it very personally and very seriously, the rebounding battle, and so he leads the charge there. So I think that's certainly going to be a place where Xavier's going to shine, I would think, in this game. And, their size is, they have a freshman named Tyreek Jones that can come in and give them a big lift as well. So I do think that's a really kind of pivotal part in the game, and I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, you never know who you're going to get in these draws, and one thing, you're probably going to be unfamiliar with them, right? Whomever it is. And Blewett's a name that I'm hearing from everyone. Last couple, certainly an NBA prospect and a guy that was certainly on the radar, in that range of top 50 players in the country and whatnot. But this is going to be an up-close look, and much like as Maryland goes, Melo goes, I'm assuming if Xavier has a chance, and we're talking about the Maryland season coming to a crash and halt in Orlando, Blewett's going to be the culprit in that, right?
I think so. Everything kind of goes to Trayvon Blewett. He is a stretch four who can step out and draw his defender to the perimeter. He's a good three-point shooter. He's a guy that you want with the ball in his hands when the game is on the line. And for Xavier, he's that's one of the reasons, again, why they had that skid is when he had that ankle injury. And even in recent games, he's only been at, I believe, 85% healthy. So maybe having a couple days leaving the Big East tournament a little bit early helped him rest his ankle. But he's kind of what makes him go. And so, when he's struggling from three-point range or struggling just to hit at all, then the team tends to struggle as well.
She is Shannon Russell. She covers the Xavier Musketeers, not ex-Xavier. He plays in the next game. Out at WCPO.com, you can follow her journey at SL Russell. And she covered Xavier for a number of years at the Cincinnati Enquirer with some of my old Bengals buddies. I think of Cincinnati. I come there often. I'm there every year. I think of the Reds and Great American Ballpark, and I tell everyone they should go to a game there. And obviously my Bengals thing, and I'm in there for that every year. Marvin invites me for various charity events and whatnot. Sometimes I get in for a concert, but I don't think about it as like a basketball place, but it surely is, right? I mean, a Cincinnati Xavier game in late January, probably pretty hideously ugly, right? I mean, cross town and all that stuff. That's a huge game.
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest games of the season for the fans around here. For the teams themselves, I don't know about that, but it's definitely something that gets the juices flowing here. And I'll add to that Dayton's just up the road, and then Northern Kentucky University is just down the road a little bit, and they're in the tournament this year too. So it's a good time to be in Cincinnati right now.
Well, there's a lot of Lexington going on there too. There's a lot of UK in the Cincinnati area, especially down by the airport when you cross the bridge, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Louisville, too, probably. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting time, I think, for everybody in your region because so many teams involved. We here in Maryland, Mount St. Mary's in a play-in, but, I mean, Maryland's kind of all we got around here right now. So we're going to try to hold our own. We'll see you down there, and appreciate your time and your insights onto the Xavier program, and, save me some chili the next time I come in. That's what I usually do when I'm there, right?
That was good.
Viva Cincinnati. Thanks for the time, Shannon. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You got it, Shannon Russell. SL Russell out at WCPO.com as well as out on Twitter. You can find me in the Buy a Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn radio app. We do come in crystal clear. We got head coach Barry Trotz joining us at a Greenmount Station in Hampstead on Monday night. We'll have some crab cakes. I'm going to have mine lightly fried. Don't judge me. I'm not eating any broiled crab cake unless I have to. You got to fry it. I'm Thundog. It's the way I do things. Greenmount Station's got a great one. Come on out, rock your red. We're going to be swabbing for the Bone Marrow Registry, and for There Goes My Hero on Monday night. It's an off night for the Caps. Hopefully they get themselves right here this weekend after the disastrous California excursion last weekend where they're playing their way backward. Now they got something to play for. Got to stay in that one hole. We'll talk to head coach Trotz on Monday night at a Greenmount Station. Bring some spit for us. Nasty at WNST.net reaches me. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram. Streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.